I'm about to try and turn this basic 6 square metre crew cabin into a 5-star multifunctional mini luxury apartment. And this is because for the next 267 days, this tiny little space is about to become my permanent home. But first, let me explain. I'm a professional ice skater on board Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas, and I've just stepped onto the ship to start my 10-month contract. So for the next few months, I'll be performing in shows, hosting public skate sessions, and doing all the random stuff that crew life has to offer. So since this cabin is officially mine for the next 10 months, I'm going to try to do my best whilst I'm here to make it feel a little bit more comfortable. And if you're a student and you're living in a tiny dorm like this, or you could be renting a small apartment studio, then I guarantee you're going to love some of the tips in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to start with the bed because obviously I need somewhere to sleep. I've actually got a first tip for you straight away, and it's actually how you make the bed because I don't feel like a lot of people know this. I learned this little trick on my first contract and I've used it ever since, so it's very useful. You're just going to put it on like this at the beginning, right there on that side. Look at the top of his head. Oh, I really hope this mattress has been cleaned. I really hope. We're going to get one side of the mattress, pull it back like this. Actually, do you know what? I don't even want to look at that. Just please leave it in the comments if that looks bad. I can't see it. Oh wait, no. No, it's actually okay. You're going to tie it like this from corner to corner. Just going to tie it in a knot like that. Same on the other side. Jesus. When I should let the mattress down, it should straighten everything out, and then that's it. You've got a made bed where it's not going to pull up every time you roll around in bed. Boom. Perfect. So at this point, you're probably thinking, where do I even begin with this place? And I won't lie, it's going to take some real effort to transform this cabin. But make sure you stick around till the end of the video, because once you see the final result, I think you're honestly going to blow your mind. Okay, so we've got one job done, and that is made the bed. You'll be surprised to find out that I'm actually sweating a little bit because that was quite intense. I don't think the AC's on right now, so that's great. It is quite late in the day now because I have been traveling all day and then getting on the ship and doing all the trainings that you need to do before you set sail. It's probably the only thing I'm going to do today, and then tomorrow I'm going to start the unpacking and the decorating, all that kind of crazy stuff. So I'm going to hit the hay right now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I've had enough. Good night. Oh, that was horrible. Shut your fucking mouth! Okay, so it is day 2 today of setting the room up and making it look like the Ritz Hotel. I have to say, when the room looks a bit basic like this and there's nothing really going on in it, it feels a little bit like a prison cell. And especially the fact that I'm going to be here for like 10 months, I need to make this room look a lot better than what it looks like right now. One of the first and most important things that I need to do is actually take measurements of the entire room, because there's a lot of things that we've ordered on Amazon that I need to make sure fits in the right place. We may have to make some adjustments throughout the room, like move certain things like the table and desk, etc. But honestly, I think everything's going to fit. So we're going to take some measurements and then we'll find out what we can fit in. That works for me. Okay, 7 feet. Okay. So as you can probably tell, the room is small, and it's not the only thing that's small in here, because for all the women that watch the video, this is your wardrobe. So far, every contract I've done, I've been pretty lucky and I've always managed to get stuff in it. But just to give you a little comparison, I could probably spend the night in this thing and you wouldn't even notice I was in the room.
This is where I live.
It's actually pretty spacious. For the women that's watching the video, I can imagine obviously this is going to be a tight space for you to put all your clothes in, but I'm in it and I fit most of my clothes in here every contract. So it's a bit tight, just like the rest of the room, but you make do with what you got. So seeing that this is now empty, I'm going to fill it with my own clothes, and then we can move on to the next thing that we got to set up. I actually found it really easy putting all my stuff away this year, which is not usually the case. And whilst I was doing that, it occurred to me that I had to take the video somewhere else. Okay, so in this part of the video, we've actually come off the ship because we're on a side quest. So if you've watched my previous videos, then you'll notice that my roommate is actually my girlfriend Ellie, and it turns out she needs a lot more storage than I do. There's a few extra things that I need to get today, like extra storage because Ellie has a lot of clothes, and honestly just little accessories that make the room look so much nicer, just like foliage or maybe like a poster and things like that. So I'm gonna have a bit of a search around and let's find something cool for the room. Okay, so something like this, like a wash basket, that could be perfect for us because, I mean, look at the size of it. She has a lot of clothes. Sorry, Ellie, but she has a lot of clothes, so I think that's gonna go perfect. I would also say something like this, but I just hate the color. Okay, so another thing that's going to make the room look absolutely mint is by getting little packs of flowers like this. I mean, I'm no flower man, but 3 packs of 4 Fuck. I think this is fuck. And then just little stuff like this, you know, just a little bowl with some hanging plants on it. For such a small price, it's going to make the room look so much better. It's going to make it feel like a bit like a rainforest. I'm going to get some of these. Genuinely, I'm not even joking. It says fuck.
This guy stinks!
Next, I think I'm going to get a bit of stick in the comment section for this, but look at the state of that. Look how it's been left. My very first impression of this rug, it looks like a cat that's been shaven and then they've turned it into a rug. It looks super comfy. I mean, look at that. Oh, I'm debating whether to get it or not. Even though they've left it the way it is, I mean, look at it. It's absolutely horrible. But I think once it's out and rolled out on the floor, it's going to look quite nice. So I'm going to commit and let's get it. Ooh, oh my God. Okay, so this is exactly what I need. Well, not what I need, what Ellie needs.
This is great banter. It really is.
I actually think this is going to be perfect for me and Ellie, so yeah, I'm going to add that to the collection too. This is going to be a nightmare trying to get it back to the ship. Oh my God. And just like that, I had some more things to work with, and at this point, I had to head back to the ship to finish the room off. But I was completely right with how it was going to be a nightmare. I mean, look at me, walking down the streets with a huge storage unit over my shoulder. And don't even get me started on what the security must have been thinking when I turned up to the ship looking like I stole from IKEA. Okay, so now we're at the final spot where I can officially say that the room is now complete. It did take a few days to get everything sorted, with ordering all the stuff from Amazon and then fitting it all inside the room and making it look nice. I can't believe it, but I think when you guys see this, you're gonna be blown away. So without further ado, let's get in. Okay, so we are here inside the room, and now this is the final reveal, and look at what I've done to the place. It looks so much better now, right? I think once I'd got everything in place, and now it's going to be here permanently with all the magnets, the LED lights, all the storage units. If we just go back a week, how the room used to look, just the bare minimum, very basic, to now looking like the best cruise cabin on the ship. I'm not gonna lie, I'm owning it. Mine's the best cabin on the ship, by far. But there's one thing that I have to do, and it's easy for me to just show it you like this, but actually I'm gonna go one step deeper and show you all the little things that I added in this room, just to make it a bit more sweet. So let's do that. Okay, so the first major thing that we ended up doing to the room, which you can probably tell, is the LED lights. I won't lie, we ordered these in the past on previous contracts, and I think when we did it this time, we ordered a bit too much, so unfortunately for me, I had to go through every crevice in this room to use all the length of it, but honestly, I think now it's done, it looks absolutely insane. Another cool thing about the LED lights is that you can actually change it to any color, so we can have green, have white, we could have red. It's very cool that you can have many colors to play with, and there's one feature about this that I really like. So whenever you play music in your room or when you're playing movies, you just click it to this and it plays to the sound of my beep. My name is Matt and I'm a nice skater. Come and subscribe and I'll see you later.
What?
Anyway, obviously, as you can see, it just completely transforms the room because, like, when you watch movies or whenever you're laying in bed and you've got just the LED lights on, it's like you're in your own movie room, which is really cool. Getting LED lights is one of the first and most important things I get in the room because, for one, it's super cheap, and secondly, it just makes the room look so much better. So for that reason, LEDs is the #1 pick. You have to get it in your room, period. Another way of saving space in the room is by getting things like this, which are magnetic storage mounts. So far these have been perfect every contract, and somehow I've managed to fit all my Celsius and electrolytes in it, all the gummies, creatine, and even a little flour. These are super cheap, and I would definitely recommend if you've got a small space that you live in. They're going to save you so much space, and it looks pretty good as well. Another thing that we absolutely needed to get was, of course, the wash basket, because there is 2 of us and we have a lot of clothes, so that ends up fitting perfect there. And obviously, if you remember this, guys, this is the storage unit that I was carrying down the street looking like a weirdo. As you can see, everything's clearly stuck up against the wall, and that's because everything's magnetic in the room. You can stick all the necessary things to the wall, and it keeps it off the floor, which is hugely convenient for when you're trying to live in a small space, so it works out perfect. Okay, so next up is the bathroom, and as you can see, there's not a lot we can do, because obviously with it being the shower room, it does naturally keep a lot of the steam and moisture inside the room, so we couldn't customize it too heavily, but something that we needed was definitely a floor mat, because unfortunately the shower curtain that was on previously was actually this far off the ground.
Ooh, what's that?
So whilst I was showering, it was coming out onto the floor, and then as soon as I'd finished my shower, well... So because it is the shower room, it does collect a lot of steam in here, so for that reason we couldn't customise it too much, but we ended up getting some magnets to put the shower stuff on, and then we used those little plants from the shop in Puerto Rico. Right, now we're finished with the bathroom, let's move on to the next thing that saves us a huge amount of space, which is the shoe rack. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, saving space is a priority when you're in a room this size, and definitely getting one of these, like a shoe rack that you can fit 6 rows of shoes on, helps out massively. For a super cheap price, you can get something that just goes against the wall and it doesn't obstruct the door as well when you open it, so it's super convenient. We actually had to get some strong magnets to hold everything up in one place because at the end of the day there's going to be quite a lot of shoes on there, but overall it looks really good, it's out of the way, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. Right, so now we've come on to another cool feature in the room. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the beginning of the video the TV was actually resting on a different desk on the other side of the cabin. To save space, like we're trying to do our very best, and also making the cabin look as good as possible, we decided to get a TV wall mount. It's going to be really nice having that, one for saving storage, but also when we're going to be lying in bed we can watch movies and stuff like that. It just ends up looking really nice when all the LED lights are on and the TV's playing. It just looks really nice, really comfortable and really relaxing after a day of work, so I'm happy. And lastly, we come to the last bit of the cabin, which is the work spot. Now, I usually edit all my videos at this table, so we've got a perfect spot for the laptop. We also ended up getting a humidifier as well, which changes colour, so you can change it by just pressing the light like this, and you can change it to whatever you want. And I was actually super lucky with this mirror, because it turns out when Ellie does her makeup for the shows, she needs something, so look at this, look how cool that is. I actually ended up getting this for free because when the cast that we were replacing left, there was a storage box full of things that we could take because they weren't taking it home or taking it to the next contract, etc. I thought to myself, this is actually perfect for when Ellie's getting ready for shows and she needs to do her makeup, so that's a great result. And I tell you what, now that I'm sat here looking at the room and it's completely finished with everything that we wanted, I'm super happy, so result. Okay, so we can now say that we are officially done with the room, which brings us to the end of the video. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video because I've definitely had a good time turning this room into something special. And I hope by some of the tips in this video, it's going to help you guys out if you're ever living in a small cabin like this and you need to find space from somewhere. This year, I'm on a mission to try and make as many videos as possible, so I'm going to be bringing you all different types of cruise style content. So if you guys are new to the channel, then please do me a huge favour by subscribing, liking and commenting by helping me get my videos to as many people as possible. But for now, the room's completed and I'm finally going to enjoy this room. So I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.